such a build-up. You go for 6 months working on something and you're so entrenched in it. Then you arrive to the point where it's very intense. A lot of big decisions are being made days before the presentation. And the presentation is all of 10 minutes. And then that's it, it's over. And it actually feels a little bit empty afterwards, you know? You feel like, God, I just want to hang on to it. I don't want to let go yet.
What's really wonderful about Fashion Week, it's a time to really celebrate. If you're organized, you're going to have a very organized show. And you're going to, if you've been doing your job, for example, in the sales team, you're going to have your buyers there, and on the press side, we'll have our press there, our editors there. So it's a time where everything really comes together. It's almost like a celebration, and you have a big party. And because many times, and especially again, being a global company, you're spread out. You're not always with. We don't often get to see a lot of the design team. Some of the group that work on accessories. So it's a time we all get together, everybody comes together, it's almost like a holiday celebration. And then also, everybody else who's in our industry, they're all excited. Everybody has a show that they're planning for or have already shown, and you get to have, give your congratulations around and support each other. As New York designers, it's important that everybody turns up and really supports it as a group, as a city.
I think the whole process is exciting, starting from, I call it the fashion marathon. You start 10 days ahead, you work with the feel of the collection, the staging, casting the models, the music. All of it is little puzzle pieces that come together. So it's not one item that is one part that's interesting, it's the whole process. Hi, how are you?
The selection of the models. I mean, were you here for all the models that came in?
Yes.
And how did you choose the models that are going to wear your clothes?
Oh, I think, well, first of all, the model selection is so key. It's so important. One, just, the aspect of the reflection of the collection, the woman we want to see represented in this season. And then the girls that fit the clothes, that feel right with the clothes. It's important. And then each individual outfit for each girl, like, oh, she's so cool, this girl, and she could work this look. You consider her personality, and the way she walks and the way she holds herself as far as what you want to put her in, because I think it's important that the clothes look like they belong to her when she's coming down the runway, and that she doesn't look like she's out of place in those clothes. She needs to feel comfortable in them. And that's part of a good presentation. And I think if you don't consider the model's person, or her as a person, she's not just a rack, I think that's where maybe you can flaw in your presentation. The selection itself is grueling. We see hundreds of girls over a 2-day period. And sometimes it feels like a struggle, but it always falls into place at the end. And it's about a meeting of minds. I discuss with my team, and together, all of us come to a conclusion that somehow falls into place.
I noticed also some girls would come in and they wouldn't even try anything on, but then I saw them booked for this. I mean, does that have anything to...
Yes, that's because we know them. We've had them last season or the season before. We know how they walk. We know who they are. We just actually want to look at them to have a little bit of face time before we say, okay, yeah, we definitely want her again. It's nice to see them because 6 months goes by and you don't know whether she gained some weight or she lost some weight or what, you know, what place is she at? Is her hair very short? Did she grow out her hair? Did she bleach it blonde? So that's just important to have a little bit of face time, but you don't always need to see them in a look. We usually try to put very new girls to us in a look just to sort of see how they fit in the clothes, how they walk in the clothes, how they carry themselves.
What's your full name?
Molly and Gunn.
And how long have you been modeling for?
Just a few years. I'm in school, so I just used to come in the summer, and now this is my first show season.
Cool. So are you here just for castings in Fashion Week?
Yep.
And where are you from?
Iowa.
Molly, we're going to try something on you.
How many castings do you have on average a day?
Most today I have 10, if I make all of them, so.
Is it kind of hectic?
Yeah, it is crazy, but I like it. Yeah.
It's good that you like it. I mean, it could be kind of flustering, right?
No, once you know where you're going, it's easy to get there, I think.
Yeah. And do you have a boyfriend?
No, I don't.
Too busy?
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Okay. Have you been out in the city at all?
No.
Okay. Do you plan on going, or do you think you'll have time?
No, I keep busy with homework as well, so my day's pretty much booked.
Wow. So what grade are you in?
I'm a senior.
A senior?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And what do your friends think back home?
They like it. They're supportive, yeah.
Let's see some of the editorial.
Well, what's really exciting is that the March books come out now, just before Fashion Week, which is really funny. We love, it doesn't happen often because there are only so many pages in a book. They cannot make the magazine this fat, right? But it's always thrilling, and I never get tired of it, even after 5 years. It thrills me to no end when you get a full page. So this is Elle March, and this right here is a Ports jacket from the spring collection on Coco Rojas. And this is amazing. Absolutely, absolutely amazing. I am so happy about this. And going into Fashion Week, you know, as people start to see this and the buyers, they're looking at what's going on, and it just makes them more curious, if they're not already with us, about what we do. If the people in the magazines are saying, yes, Ports is great enough to be in our pages, then it's good enough to be in their stores. So all of these layers really, really help at the end of the day.
Fiona has always been probably, and she's CEO of our company, more the business, and though Tia is a creative person who also has a very business mind. So I think that's why they work so well together. It's not like one person is thinking so entirely different than the other. Tia, as a designer, has a very strong business head. She sees the end result. She knows ultimately the company needs to, you know, turn a profit, and she's very aware of that. You know, and it's a family business. So when you have a family business, I think maybe that's also a reason everyone's a little more, you know, bottom line minded.
After a slightly masculine look, handsome rather is a good way of describing it,
Yeah.
and quirky and, of course, diverse. So I think it looks really fresh, too, which is nice for the editors to see new faces and not the same old girls.
Mm-hmm. How many new, fresh faces would you say we have here? It's a lot, right?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I would say like 12 to 15, almost half.
Yeah, that's a good ratio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some of those are already, you know, rising stars, like Sharon knocked it out of the park last season, and Anastasia is only her second season, and she opened 4 shows last season, so
Yeah.
those are like going to be major girls for sure.
Yeah.
And even the girls that we have that are seasoned models, have done it for a while, they're still fresh.
They're still considered, yeah.
Yeah,
they're still in that
exactly. I mean,
category.
we're considering Rania a pro now, but she's still, for a lot of people, a brand new face.
Yeah.
You know?
Beautiful.
Yeah, it looks really diverse too, which is obviously a goal of everyone's here at Ports.
Cool.
Cool. All right.
So I guess we'll catch up tonight.
That's right.
Okay.
We'll have more information then.
Okay, that
All
sounds
right.
good. From here, we're gonna bring it down to the 25 girls, or 27, 30 girls. You love Ala.
Well, I love her.
She looks amazing. That's a very strong face.
Yeah.
And that's also a really special face.
Where's Sophie?
Sophie is here. Oh, well, Sophie shot our Spring-Summer campaign, Spring-Summer 2010 campaign, and she was a lot of fun to be with in Kyoto, and we love having her come back and work with us some more, and she's here doing a hair test. She's just a fun person to be around. So it's a pleasure working with her. Love to have a girl like Georgie or Sheena, and then a girl like Hing and Hind. She's from Morocco, she's from China. I forget where these girls are from, I think they're American. Oh, Georgie's from Senegal. So, you know, it's nice to just diversify and represent the world in which we live.
That's Karen. No, Karen's king.
Oh, you want to go forward here?
Well, are we going back or forward?
Back. So we're going to go
You
then.
can do Karen right behind Alexis.
Okay, so Karen's going to
Come in with the actual Nordstrom sales associate.
Jonina in H5. The seating chart's broken down by color to signify what kind of category the individual is, if they're a member of the newspapers, internet, magazines, retailers, and so on and so forth, stylists, etc. And what we do is we kind of lay it out according to the floor plan that we've had for now Ports for their 6th season. So basically in section D here, which is closest to the runway door, this area here is for the Ports Investment Group, and here for friends and family, because obviously you can kind of see a little bit into the backstage here, so it's important that if they see anything that's a little behind the scenes, that it's friends and family who see that versus, you know, an editor further on down. Here in section C is where we start putting our major retailers, so Neiman Marcus, Saks Fifth Avenue, Bloomingdale's. Section B starts the major American magazines, and section A as well. And we put, of course, the Women's Wear Daily editors, and all the editors are kind of have to be in and out because they're back to back with one show to the next, as section A, along with the TV crews, so they can get in and out of the venue as quickly as possible.
Okay.
And that's why friends of the house are here, because they're the first backstage, and also they're the ones in the least amount of rush to get to the next show. And hopefully if we start on time, everyone will have enough time to come backstage. So that's a big thing. And in that computer we have the seating for the last 4 seasons, so we know if someone's gone up, you know, if we push them up a row, down a row, over, etc., etc.
Have you ever had any problems with people who aren't happy where they're seated, or?
Generally not, because we do a lot of thinking about where we put people in advance, and if someone's been like really super supportive to the brand and to the house and to Tia, you know, they could be upgraded, etc. So generally people are really quite pleasantly surprised and quite happy and stuff. And if there is any issue, because they're called in 2 days prior to the show, we can address it. The last thing we want to do is to have somebody come to the door and to be unhappy. Like any organization or any group, you want to be with your team when you go to a show. And so the people who are in the front row, the people who are directly affected with the buying line, either a fashion director of a store, a DMM, a GMM, a president, a buyer, and then the associates or, you know, the buyers as you go up in the hierarchy. So, you know, upper management's in the front row, management, and then the associates and the support people in 3 or 4, depending on. And it's the same way for the magazines. You have editor-in-chiefs and fashion directors in the front, but you'll have associate market editors in the third.
Okay.
Barbara, it's Elizabeth at Ports. How are you today? Hanging in there? We are. Our show is on Thursday. Yeah, we're excited. Will you get to come at some point, I hope?
North of the backstage wall.
I know. You keep them all going. Well, I got an email from Kareen. I got you requested for Ken, Kareen, and Rupal, but we haven't gotten any RSVPs yet. But Kareen then sent an email today that said, I'll see you at the show. So are the 3 of them coming? I'm the Vice President of Sales for Ports.
Okay, so you have a very specific list and section that you're in charge of.
Yes.
Can you explain that to me?
The list that I'm in charge with is called the retail list. So it's anyone that is a customer of Ports from a retail perspective. So it could be, like Lou had said, it could be Neiman's or Nordstrom or Bloomingdale's, but it could also be the customer of somebody at Neiman's, Nordstrom, or Bloomingdale's. So that's what I'm responsible for. And similar to retail, it's very important that I see these people in the right seats, giving them the right list.
Because he just sent me 2 new lists.
Okay. And do you know most of the people?
Do you want me to send the first
In most
round?
instances, we do. There are people who RSVP that we send the list to that are Target people, Target stores that we'd like to pick up the collection. And so if they do RSVP and we see that they've RSVP'd to the show, we will then call them before the show to say, we see that you're coming to the show. Would you also like to come and see the collection? So very often it opens up new business for us. So it's important for us to see not only our current customers, but also prospective customers as well, because if there's somebody that we want to pick up the collection, we need to make sure they have a good seat. We didn't have any RSVPs yet, so all 3 will attend, and I'll just messenger you the 2 extra tickets. Thursday at 3.
About standing? Standing is basically the guests of and friends of Ports. Important to us to be there, you know, for support, but not an editor, not a blogger, not a stylist, but still important for support. Usually it's friends. It's a company policy that friends of Ports, they stand. And then if there are available seats, then they sit. Yeah. Because we all have thousands of friends, and basically there'd be no room for editors.
How many Harvey-Nickers?
There's 3 of them.
3 of them. Okay. Well, I was thinking them all.
That's fine.
And then if you can imagine, there's
Can you find the
VIP
mail?
standing
Shall we
and regular
Right,
standing.
no, I'm going to move.
So
Harvey-Nicks
VIP
gets it
standing
together.
means you get in before the regular standing, which stands outside of Bryant Park. So in
Yeah.
actuality,
That was a
you can
hammer.
get into VIP standing. There's VIP standing right over regular standing, because sometimes once it fills,
You got it?
they close the doors
Okay,
for fire
she's gonna go to
hazards,
double B.
and you have to watch it on the monitor.
First row seat.
So if you're invited, we still want you to get in if we know you. If we don't know you, right, then you probably end up standing outside, unfortunately.
When did you know that you wanted to be a fashion designer?
I knew it from the very, very, very beginning. I used to, cut up my dolls' dresses and make them outfits and make little outfits for my sisters, younger, older. I would also play with my clothes and always was very intrigued by fashion. My bedroom growing up was wallpapered, including the ceiling, in my favorite fashion tears. I'd buy my Vogues and my, Marie Claire's and whatnot, and I was tearing them, my favorite pictures, and plastered, and it would change from season to season, and it was a fun hobby. And I recall doing an experiment with my girlfriend as young teenagers, going to like the worst, not the worst, but like the least fashionable store, Kmart, and then picking clothes for each other. And I'd pick clothes for her, and she'd pick clothes for me, and I'd pick like the most difficult clothes to style and make fashionable. And then we'd go into the dressing room, and this was like after school, you know, leisure hangout time for us. And it was, you know, the challenge of make this outfit look as cute as possible. And so we would challenge each other by choosing very difficult to make cute outfits. And so I just knew, I was, you know, I had it in me. I wanted to play with clothes, and I was intrigued by beautiful sleeve details and beautiful collars and the femininity of it all as well. I love to dress myself. And so I knew it very, very early on. I went to Parsons.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good school.
Yeah, it's a very good school. A lot of amazing, talented people have come out of there, and it's a very, I think they encourage the creative aspect very much at Parsons. And, you know, I think it's important to understand the business side of fashion too, if you want to go into business for yourself. But the fundamentals, the foundation of what is fashion is the creative. And without that, as you can be a great business person, but if you don't have those magical ideas, that's not fashion. So I think that they do right in making their focus the creative.
And how did you get your start? Did you start working with a designer or somebody who was already established?
I was an intern at Ports in 1961. And I interned with Dean and Dan Caton from D Square. And then from there, I got my first job at Ports, and I haven't left.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how many years have you been with Ports?
More than 15.
Okay.
Yeah, right out of school.
The understanding that I have with Tia, we've been working together for a long time, so I think we both think alike, and we both kind of in the same sort of page on a lot of things as far as what Tia and her team is trying to convey every season. So it's just a good team, you know, we feel like a real strong family.
What's the inspiration for this collection?
Well, the inspiration is quite abstract, and the original idea was engineered nature. And the idea of nature being manipulated and played with by us human beings, creating innovation and science, and manipulating and crafting something very natural into something that we want to see. It's just a play on the aesthetic of the word. Actually, the word is like Old English, and not used anymore, but Old English, in that the A and the E are linked together, and the word craft, it's a product of something, of a product of science, a making of something that is, it's crafted and it's a product of something scientific. So yes, that's the title of the collection. The color palette, actually this we're looking at is the finale, so it's like the strongest, most powerful statement, and it's black, lace, shine, but still soft and romantic, something quite undone and easy about it. And we wanted to say that in the collection as well. It does feel strict, but at the same time, there's something really urban and new and on the go. The rest of the collection's colors are actually really somber and rich. The feeling is very jewel without being popping and bright and intense, but actually calm, muted jewel tones. So we have iris, which is one of my favorite colors of the collection. It's a very strong, I would say it's quite a neutral, actually. It's a navy in essence, but with a more purple tone to it, which is a very royal color. It's very rich. Printed velvet, one of the key details in the collection. Leather, again, teamed with the neoprene. So this is actually really the very clear statement of the collection. Very clean, very feeling strict, but using some natural materials with man-made materials. And it feels very strong. So then we get into this rust family. We used a lot of metallic, copper and gold, blackened gold, So warm golds and warm metals in general played a key role. This is a beautiful detail in the collection. We play with on hardy fabrics and also on very fragile fabrics. And it's made by a company called Fremis, and it's actually like a heat-fixed, rubberized texture that comes in sheets and tapes, and we love to use it on finishings, as a decorative and also as a functional finish. So you'll see it, for example, here on this tweed, and then you see it on the hem of a silk dress, and it just looks like a bit of gloss, or almost like you put a Scotch tape right across your hemline. So it's a big contrast in its feel. This is very luxe and silk satin, and it's drapey, and it's very evening wear, and the contrast of this very modern, high-tech texture. So it's a contradiction, which is the essence of the collection. We have these gabardine trousers that are very much a staple item, but playing with that Fremis detail, the rubberized finish, just on this little welt pocket with a zipper, keeping a classic welt pocket trouser still little new. So although they are staple items, they maintain a freshness. They evolve with whatever trend or, you know, theme of each different collection. Oh, this belongs here, better not mess up the lineup. Tapestry fabrics, again, the feeling of this very old world, romanticism, more corseting details, but keeping it quite tough and buckling it with something a little hardy, with metal. Just tough and tender, I guess you can say. This fabric here is really exciting. This is a carbon-dyed canvas, and that's basically charcoal dyed and treated in such a way so that it doesn't come off onto the skin. So this is really exciting, and it feels like just a good hardy denim. It's this color here that we were feeling. It's these shades right here, the greens and the grays, the carbon dyed, the tweeds, and all in the green family. That's really where we saw it very somber on a gray, rainy day, that sort of mood, a lot of shadow.
Are you stressed right now?
Actually, no. Not at all. Maybe tomorrow because of the snow, this impending. Everybody around me is like, the snow is coming, the sky is falling, the Washington, D.C., you know, you're going to get snowed in. I'm not worried. What will be, you know. That's out of my hands. I can't control Mother Nature. Everything else, yeah, it's fine.
It has really been an impactful storm force all across the east, but this morning in New York in Central Park, it is really coming down.
This is the view of the Hudson River. But we are having a freak snowstorm, and hopefully this is not going to affect our show. We heard a lot of flights have been canceled, so we'll see what happens. But good planning, and we're going to be going on Vogue.com and live streaming. For those who can't make it in, they'll be able to go on their computer and watch the show. So, New York Fashion Week, what are you gonna do? Oh, you know what? It's the good packing stuff. Look. Look.
Hi.
What do you think about the snow?
I love the snow. Just, you know, not the day of the show. But I think it might die down this afternoon, and if it's just a little sloshy tomorrow, I think we'll be fine. It's New York City. People are unstoppable around here, so little snow's not gonna stop us.
Explain the kind of look that you're going for.
Yeah, so it's like just like a nice natural base with eye color is like a caramel, like a darker caramel, and same thing with lips, just like a little, just to warm up a little bit the lip color, so it's not pink. So everything is pretty natural, except for the eyes that is stronger a little bit of mascara.
And is that look in this season, the very natural makeup look?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Well, at the test we did with like a brush, just like a really clean eye shape, and now we want to try just with the fingertips to make like really to see the finger on the makeup. So that's what we're gonna try now.
We're using some cream color base eyeshadows, and that's what we're going to use to make the imprint. And lots of black mascara, curling the lashes. Also the cream color base mixed with peach stock lipstick for the lips. So quite neutral, but still effective.
That's the look we tried before.
Oh, uh-huh. And you didn't like you were talking about the hair, right?
Yeah.
You didn't like that?
Well, they changed their mind. So, yeah, they liked it. And finally they went for like a full curl everywhere. Smaller curl.
That's why we're playing around with 3 different approaches, is to get, the texture will be a little different in each one, but really it's the timing. To get it identically how we want it would take a lot, probably an hour on each girl, which is too long. So probably 20 minutes on each girl, don't you think? Tag team, 2 people on it. Hopefully,
I would say half
in a
an
perfect
hour.
world, 15 minutes.
Okay. 15 minutes?
We're gonna start, it's gonna get more hectic because we're gonna start fitting it specifically on each model. Every girl get their outfit assigned, and then we fit everything perfectly to that model so that it's completely her shape and her fit. We have 30 models and there's 45 outfits.
Okay.
So, yeah. Our favorite girls get to wear 2 outfits. How about that? I like that.
I like things that are a lot shorter, you know that?
Yeah.
You know, a dress like this, would you like to see it transform?
No, we don't want to shorten that. So meaning you think we could lengthen it. But I think for Molly's proportion,
Yeah, it looks great on
I think
her.
it was too long, the distance between the knee would look weird.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And also, when we get Rania, she's also same height. We'll make sure that they both hit the same.
But this dress may look funky if we make it too
Short, yeah, right.
Because this is like, it's the proportion.
Yeah. See, like on Amelia, it was longer and it's fine, but.
Do you still like it 1 inch longer?
Try.
Do the 2 inches above the knee, as we were saying.
See?
Elegant.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking Ala here.
Yeah.
You know, she's cute, but
Yeah.
Ala is wear those pants. Okay, let's see, Molly. Yeah, that's better because it rises up when you walk. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Pin as hand, but it's approximately 1 inch, right?
Let me check the measurement.
Take
Just check for us to know. Let me here. It's 2 inch. 2 inches.
2 inches?
Just turn your feet one up. Just turn one up. Yeah. Okay. We can switch and give Molly the skinny pants and the jacket and try
Which is
Kelsey.
going to be the new jacket though.
Yeah.
You want to see?
Yeah, let's see that. Because I think that's too sweet on her. It could be literal. Okay, hang on. Chroma, let's see hand. I guess if the length works, it'll be a hell of a... Save us a hassle. Let's see one. Yeah. And are you okay in those shoes? You feel like they're too big? Big?
No.
No? You.
This is the dress because it's too small here.
Okay, right.
But it's okay.
You're not gonna lose the
No,
shoes?
it's okay.
Okay. I think that's better. I think the other way it just feels like odd. Plus, we're not really. We shouldn't twist one and then turn the other.
Can you walk it? Sorry.
Yeah.
It also looks better. The back looks
Yeah.
actually better.
Yeah. The other one sticks out. And,
Nice.
yeah.
But if you do want to shorten it on hand,
How can we?
on the shoulder.
Oh. Yeah.
You'll lose a bit of the cowl, but I don't think that's important. Should we pin her and see?
Yeah.
It's half an inch, really, right?
We can do
Could
half
be
and
the-
half, so it's 1 inch. Let's see.
Already, I'm liking Molly in that outfit.
Try to, yeah.
And try to keep the rise the same.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it on. Okay, but let's do it with the green brogues. I think it'll be better with the embroidery. The green brogues would be great with embroidery.
It makes it less serious.
Yeah.
It's more fun.
Yeah, and we got everything in there that we want and solved everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just that the pants need a lot of work.
A lot of work, yeah.
We all buy the fabrics. I mean, many of the high-end designers buy from the same luxury outlet. So they'll buy the fabric in Europe, and then something that we offer regardless of where our factory is that we produce our own product. We own our own factories. So the people that Tia and Fiona have been working with all these years, they've been trained. I mean, they have seen high-end designer garments inside and out and know all of the finishes and all of the fine details that go into producing something that's on a level that warrants the fabric that it's being produced in. So what we can offer is incredible quality control.
Well, there's a whole team of people that's been, organizing the very nitty-gritty of it. And they're there now making sure that all the samples are indeed packed. Every, tag has been cut off. Every look has all its accessories. Everything is packed properly so that it doesn't break en route. They're also making sure that all the paperwork, not paperwork, but you know, the press kits that are going to be handed out are in order and going with all, because there's a truck that takes all the samples, and then there's the trucks that takes the press kits and the gift for the guests. And this season the gift takes a lot of volume and it's weighty.
What is the gift?
It's a planter, a little pot. Yeah. We actually put an installation in the showroom with all the rosemary, because with the invitation we gifted rosemary seeds. So we thought, you know, if they haven't already planted their seeds by now, they'll get a little pot to remind them. I love watching the shows, just like everyone else, you know? But it's hard because it's really an intense time for us, meeting clients and also working on the very next collection immediately. Like we start tomorrow. We've already started, but full on we start tomorrow and Monday. So sometimes I do, if there's a little calm, I enjoy them. I know what goes into them, so I'm really like appreciative when they do special effects. And because you guys who said that Isaac had the rain, yeah, so cute. I'm relatively new to New York. I came here 5 years ago to work on this project. So although I studied here, I left immediately after school. But I'm building my network in the industry.
It's fashion show day. It is exciting, but it's a little bit sad actually, because we just found out that one of our fashion legends, Alexander McQueen, committed suicide. So that's very, very, very sad.
In the fashion world, this will be an absolute shock of mammoth proportions, Jim. The Alexander McQueen, aged 40, probably the brightest and best designer of his generation. The man who was known as the enfant terrible. He was also known as the hooligan of English fashion when he started.
Well, come on then.
Phone calls to my cell phone. You did it? Yeah. Okay.
This is it. Here we go. It's showtime. It's all this preparation, months and months of preparation, weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, all for 14 minutes. It's amazing.
See you there.
See you, Bryant Park.
Actually, you should come with. No?
Yeah.
Are you excited to see the Ports 1961?
I am always excited to see Ports 1961. You know, Tia's so great. You know, we're both from Toronto, so we have that already bond between us. But she's so creative, because you know what's great? I always don't know what to expect from her, and that's really what I love about fashion.
Have you seen any of the pieces she's been working on?
I haven't. You know, I always try to keep previews to a minimum because I really want to see it come to life on the runway.
How excited are you to see Tia's collection?
I've been a big supporter of hers for many years, and I always look forward to seeing her collection and seeing, you know, what trends she's ready to set for the runway.
Have you seen any of the pieces she's done for it?
I have not seen this season's collection, unfortunately. I usually kind of get a chance to go in, but not recently. But
we've been spending a lot of time with Tia, and she just seems very calm. Can you just kind of speak about her as a person?
she's brilliant. I mean, she travels all over, and I think that really comes into, you see within her designs.
They're timing the first girl.
Iris,
Iris,
if you can just slow that down. Okay, it needs to be moodier. You can slow it down, please. Thank you. Let's try it again.
Moodier. Again. Okay, we're going live right now. Tell them I can't talk right now, whoever it is. Coming up on Tia. Okay, stand by. Turn to your left, to your left, to your left. Okay, I'm here with Tia. I want to ask you, how do you feel right now before your show?
It's a fog. It's a dizzying fog. I feel good. I feel full of adrenaline.
Do you have anything you want to say to the folks at Vogue.com?
I'm ecstatic to be streamed live on Vogue.com, and I hope you enjoy the show.
No, we're going to give her the mic now, so stand by. We're going to pause. Stay right over here. We're going to do it right here. We're going to come back to you in just a moment. I want to give you a chance. The mic is hot.
Ladies and gentlemen, may we have your attention, please? We at Courts 1961 would like to take a moment of silence to recognize the loss of a great talent, Mr. Alexander McQueen.
Thank you so much. That was wonderful, Tia. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Senior right there, right.
I think what's really wonderful is that the fashion, say for example, all of the fashion program, the calendar really does span the world today. I mean, there's a fashion week in pretty much, you know, most major cities around the world today. And I think obviously there's many talented people in the business and the creativity. It's wonderful to celebrate it. But when you think about the main cities that have been in the really in the forefront of fashion, Paris, New York, London, Milan. They're all quite different. So I think it's important to have, and it's wonderful to have the opportunity, like many of the editors have, to really go to all of these cities and see all the different creativity, because Milan fashion, Italian fashion is really quite different from French fashion. But New York City is, to me, and always will be, it's a modern city, and it's about what's happening now and what's new, and it's always a little more accessible. The New York woman is a woman who's on the go. She's not someone who's, being chauffeured around necessarily, who's out in the countryside. She's someone who's on the ground and running and making decisions every day. So I feel often in the New York collections that that's reflected. There's more of a spirit of modern, of wearability, efficiency in clothing. I mean, I feel like that's where, with Ports, it's come up often. I mean, we address a woman who, she's luxury-minded. She's accustomed to fine fabrics and certainly style. But it has to work within her day. It has to be something she can leave the house in the morning and possibly not return to a special event in the evening. So she really needs something to be comfortable, to take her all these different places and to move in and move fast. Sometimes you have to run for a taxi. It's not just waiting for you outside.
Oh, it's huge expense. I mean, you're talking 30 models, with the, in Bryant Park, and it's a big production. We usually have, so many samples to kind of build the looks with. So to work on it is, it's a big project.
What are you inspired by?
Well, travel. I've had the travel bug, and I love different cultures. I'm always intrigued by different languages and different, ethnicities and different way of dressing, depending on, the backgrounds of people. And so it's travel in a sense of the eclecticism. It's not necessarily the actual, physical aspects of travel, but the discovery. And so it's always been that way for me. I could run out of places? No, I don't think so. The world is so vast, and there are so many people to draw from, so many cultures to explore. So it's always been that, and hopefully for a long time to come.
You walked down the runway one?
Yes.
Okay, and how did it feel?
It was good. I didn't expect it to be so long.
Oh, you didn't get to practice on it?
No, we didn't really. We didn't have enough time, I
No
think.
run through.
No, but it's okay. It's easy. You just walk to the end, turn around.
How do you feel when you come off the runway?
It's always a relief because before you go up, you get an adrenaline shock. I think something like that because it's so excited. So when you come off, you're like, I did it, I made it.
I feel good. I'm really excited. So, yeah.
How would you describe yourself? Like if somebody was just to say, like, what do you like? If you were going to write down on a dating website, oh, this is me. How would you describe yourself?
Ooh, wow, that's a tough question, actually. How would I describe myself? I work hard, and I think that that's such an integral part of me, my work. That's, you know, maybe I'm a workaholic, that's the description. But I love my job, and it's my hobby, and so I do it with so much love. I'm generally, I think, a happy person. I like to work in a very calm but friendly environment. My colleagues are generally of friendship. I like things to be not painful. Even if we have to get a job done and it's serious stuff, it doesn't have to be hard, it doesn't have to be, you know, complex, and it doesn't have to be painful. Maybe I'm not a very confrontational person, so I like to express myself in such a way so that it's not so bold, and hopefully people get it, and the sensitivity is there and it's understood. That's who I am, I think. It's all about my work. It's really bad.
When the show is late and you're waiting for the major editors to get in, yeah, that's the stress right there that everybody's waiting, because if your show is late, if the person before you is late, then it holds up all those editors. So they have to come from that venue, hopefully it's on site, run in, get in, be seated, and then you can start your show. But then a lot of times you're waiting for the models. Like there was one season where our opening model, for some reason, she got her call time mixed up. We could not find her, and then finally she re-emerged. She was all the way up on 70th, right? You know, and you have to come all the way down to 41st. It was literally 5 minutes before the show. She said she was in a cab. We had to change the entire lineup of the show. She ran in as the 5th girl was coming. They quickly put her in hair and makeup. About 10 people were on her, and she walked the show, right? So those things are really, really stressful for backstage. For me, it's the seating. It's that getting the people in and making sure that it's fine, you know, and the right people are in their seats. A couple of times people are sitting in the wrong seats, you know, and you have to be sort of gentle with, you know, where they are. And sometimes you have the gate crashers, you know, those people that just sort of you have said no to because it's not a fit, and they choose to show up anyway because they have their own agenda, and you have to sort of treat them with kid gloves. Sometimes it gets volatile, but luckily IMG has great security, you know, so, but that's the most stressful for me.
because you work for 6 months to finally share. I feel good right now. Tomorrow, I'll start the next season.